Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Chattery Included. Today is another one of those rare Bansha solo specials. So if you don't like my voice, you can just mute the video and stare at the process. But today I thought we would take a moment to address the art, because we don't usually do that. I've done like a draw this again, and I've drawn characters, and I've hardly said a single word about it. So I know I'm not the best artist, right? Everyone has room for improvement. And that was my New Year's resolution several months ago, was to draw more so that I could improve. And the videos on this channel will come out a little out of order of the way they were drawn, but I really love that going through this process, I can look at the order they were drawn in and I can see the improvement here and there. One of my improvements that I needed to do was I needed to get more comfortable drawing male and more masculine figures and faces, and I don't think I'm quite succeeding. Like, I still feel like they read pretty femininely, but I do feel a little more comfortable attempting, and I think that's the important part. I feel like I've gotten better with posing and not really with anatomy, but maybe I need to do some studies on that. But I feel like the improvement is there and can be seen later. But right now, I'm going to be giving a little background about the characters in this particular scene. Unfortunately, the one in red, Damien, reads a little bit Edward Cullen by the end of this, but I still really like how Jay turned out. Um, these two have a weird relationship at first. Damien is a demon that feeds off psychic energy, or a psychic vampire, depending on how you look at that. Jay is just average Joe community college student. He goes to community college so that he wouldn't be away from his family because they don't have the best relationship. His father is an absolute jerkwad, which is putting it politely, and there is no reason to put it politely, but I am. Damien and Jay meet one evening as Jay is walking home from his classes, and Damien is going to feed from him. And through the feeding process, Damien gets a peek into Jay's mind because he is, a psychic vampire. And he hears Jay's thoughts for the first time, and they're not great. They are all very much, we're gonna die here, but that's okay because dying is better than living at this point, which no one deserves to feel like, but Jay did because he realized that he was gay and he knew his family would not be accepting, which is sadly a story that way too many people have to face in real life. So Damien makes it a point to learn more about Jay and to prove to him that there's nothing wrong with him. It's it's not a flaw. It's just part of him, and that's okay. It's it's an odd romance that they eventually end up with. Um, Damien has a time of it because he can't stop thinking about this boy that wanted to die. And he's very confused, like why he keeps thinking about him. So he thinks maybe Jay isn't just this normal college kid. Maybe he's like a witch or something and cast a spell on him, and so he goes to learn more about him. And I'm fully aware that in the non supernatural sense, the story would not seem cute or good because there is, some stalking involved. Damien is not a good dude, but he does manage to find some goodness in him through Jay, where he didn't think any existed. And Jay manages to find happiness through Damien, where he didn't think any would exist ever. And they eventually get to live out their romance, become better people for themselves and for each other. And I think that's a lovely story. So they get that. I gave them a happy ending. Chen actually is the only person that has read all of their story to date because they have, a few hiccups in their relationship here and there. And Chen has given me a lot of inspiration for them. So it was really nice to be able to draw them out and finally have that physical, I don't know, physical kind of connection with it, I guess. I would hopefully like for it to see the pages of a book one day. But for now, I just get this art. And maybe one day I can talk Chen into also drawing them, and so we can have, the side-by-side comparison, because as the person that's read all of their stories, I'd like to see if they come across the same way to her. So that'd be a lot of fun. But for now, we've just got this. And I'm not super happy. Like, I'm not in love with this drawing that I've done, but I do think it's nice. Like I said, Damien reads very Edward Cullen, and I'm not thrilled with that, but it'll get better. Um, I'm gonna get better at drawing guys, and I'm gonna get better at facial differences and stuff and perspective. It'll happen. It's just gonna be a slow moving process, like everything else in life. I made these two when I was like 15 or 16, which is wild. I've had them for about 10 years now, and that makes me feel some type of way about myself. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I registered there are still things anatomically incorrect about the piece. I realize there are still things that are incorrect about the lighting and the shading. But all in all, I don't think it's bad. It could be better, but I don't think it's bad. I don't know if the definition of art is to invoke a reaction, but this invokes a reaction in me, and I think that counts. And I think we need to let go of this kind of perfectionist attitude when it comes to art. Like, art is allowed to be bad. Wherever you're at is a starting point. It's so long as you're practicing, you're going to get better. So it's allowed to be bad. It's allowed to not be understood. It's allowed to have poor lighting, poor shading, poor anatomy. Because it's just a start. You'll get somewhere better. You just gotta keep going. Trust the process. It's allowed to be awful in its own kind of way. And I don't think this is awful. It's better than some of the things I've previously done and things that will be posted to the channel later. I just really like it. And it's probably because it's sentimental to me. Yeah, that's probably it. I do need to practice more with hair textures because I struggled with this because I wasn't using reference and I wasn't understanding how things worked, and my brain doesn't work in moving 3D objects easily. So things like curls and perspective do not come easily to me. And for coiled hair, it's kind of bouncy and everywhere, and I wanted that, but my brain couldn't figure out how to make those coils be 3D. So I definitely need to work on that. Oh, I forgot to mention the mate marks. Okay, so they have these mate marks um, that bonds them together, as mates. And Damien was given from Jay the marks for a storm cloud because he feels like Damien was the storm cloud that just flooded his life with so many things that he would have never experienced if he hadn't attempted to feed from him that one night on his way home from classes. And on the back of Jay's neck, where Damien is holding, Jay has he has the mark of a little sun because he calls Jay sunshine, and he feels like Jay was just a sunspot in his life, illuminating things he didn't know he had in himself or were still in the world, honestly. So that's a lot of fun for them. And I think that's going to wrap up our video today. So I hope you guys had fun listening to me ramble, and if you didn't, I hope you enjoyed the art while the video was muted. I would love to hear about your OCs that you've had for at least a decade in the comments, if you have any, or any that you think you'll keep around for a decade. I think it's super neat to hear about other people's characters. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video, comment. We need the engagement. And I think that's it. I hope everyone has a wonderful day and has had a fantastic Pride Month so far and continues to do so. All right. Bye-bye.